A new type of ammunition for main battle tank is set to change their combat efficacy. Europe's leading missile manufacturer, MBDA's debut of the Akeron MBT 120 at DSEI 2025 introduces a potentially disruptive capability to the modern battlefield. A gun-launched, non-line-of-sight NLOS guided munition that lets 120mm main battle tanks engage targets they cannot see directly. Designed to fit within the dimensional and handling constraints of standard NATO 120mm ammunition racks, the Akeron MBT 120 promises to add an organic, indirect fire and precision strike option to tank units without major vehicle modifications. In this video, Defense Updates analyzes how MBDA's Akeron MBT 120 could make tanks dominate battlefields again. Before we proceed, a word on NordVPN, which is one of the most trusted and fastest VPN brand that has a no-log policy validated by Deloitte. NordVPN provides a 256-bit encrypted tunnel that protects your privacy and also enables you to access contents that are blocked based on geolocation. Its threat protection system helps you avoid phishing, scams, and malware. NordVPN application is available for all the major platforms as well as browsers. Get an exclusive NordVPN deal with massive saving by going to nordvpn.com/defense or clicking the link in the description. It's risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. Recent high-intensity wars have highlighted a dual challenge for armored forces. On one hand, the urgent need to engage fleeting targets at extended ranges, such as mobile artillery, supply convoys, and lightly armored vehicles, before they disappear. On the other, the growing danger that tanks face when forced to stay in direct line of sight of their objectives, where they are highly vulnerable to drones, precision munitions, and networked fires. The tactical environment has become especially dangerous for tanks engaged in breaching operations or maneuvering across open terrain. The situation has actually become so dire that many experts have questioned place of tanks on a modern battlefield. MBDA's Akeron MBT 120 has been conceptualized to mitigate the challenges. Akeron gives a tank an organic, precision indirect fire capability. Fired like a conventional 120mm round, the munition can be cued by off-board sensors, UAVs, forward observers, ground radars, or other network sensors, and then climb and fly a plunging, top attack profile to strike enemy vehicles, weapon teams, or hardened emplacements from above, while the firing tank remains in defilade. Physically, the round is intentionally compact and logistics-friendly. Compliant with NATO STANAG 4385 storage and handling rules, it is stowed, transported, and loaded in the same way as standard 120mm ammunition. At roughly 984mm long and about 20 kilograms, 44 pounds, the Akeron MBT 120 fits existing bustle racks and autoloaders, meaning armies can adopt the capability with minimal turret or magazine redesign. That drop-in form factor is central to MBDA's pitch. Transformational capability without wholesale platform modification. Technically, the munition departs from older gun-launch designs in two important ways. First, it operates in a non-line of sight, NLOS mode. Instead of requiring a direct laser beam or constant guidance link to the launching platform, and thus betraying the tank's position, Akeron can accept coordinates from external sensors, climb to altitude, and then home in on targets using its onboard seeker. Second, the round uses a passive electro-optical/infrared EO/IR seeker and automatic target recognition algorithms to acquire and discriminate targets in the terminal phase. This passive approach reduces vulnerability to laser warning countermeasures and some soft kill active protection systems that counter laser or radio links. And it enables a truly fire and forget engagement that permits immediate turret movement or relocation after launch. MBDA has also engineered the launch dynamics to be tank-friendly. A low-acceleration rocket motor limits peak stresses on the gun tube, reducing barrel wear and mechanical complexity inside the round. Once boosted, the munition is intended to achieve low supersonic speeds and execute a controlled terminal dive onto a target's most vulnerable topside geometry. Integration with existing fire control suites is expected to be straightforward. typically requiring only a software programming module similar to the interfaces used for modern programmable tank rounds, which further eases adoption. Operationally, Akeron MBT 120 promises to change how armored formations fight. Instead of relying solely on supporting artillery or exposing a tank to deliver a direct kill, a small group of tanks could act as hunter-killer cells. A drone or forward observer identifies a target, the tank loads the coordinates, fires an Akeron round from cover, and immediately displaces while the round finds and defeats the objective. That compresses the sensor-to-shooter timeline, reduces the vulnerability window for the launch platform, complicates enemy counter-battery and counter-tank responses, and gives armored commanders a low-signature, precision option for engaging high-value, time-sensitive threats on the move. The final warhead selection remains undecided. MBDA is evaluating a single-shaped charge as the baseline option, judged capable of defeating legacy tanks such as the T-72 and T-80 when combined with the munition's top attack trajectory. To broaden mission utility, engineers are also studying alternatives such as a fragmentation sleeve or a high-explosive fragmentation variant to improve effectiveness against soft-skinned targets, vehicle clusters, and infantry positions. MBDA is in talks with several European warhead manufacturers, and a UK-built solution remains under consideration. Planned initial demonstration firings are set for 2026, with a goal of entering service around 2027. Tanks are having a bad time in modern conflicts. Recent reports indicates Russia has lost roughly 3,800 tanks, destroyed, damaged, abandoned, or captured in the war with Ukraine so far. Even Western-supplied tanks have not been immune. Of the 31 U.S.-supplied M1A1 Abrams delivered to Ukraine, open-source assessments suggest that 19 have already been destroyed or seriously damaged, with the majority of these losses attributed to drone strikes and precision artillery fire. Many experts have argued that tanks are no longer relevant in a modern combat environment. By introducing the Akeron MBT 120, MBDA aims to increase a tank's capability significantly. The round is built to give European and Allied armored formations an interoperable, drop-in non-line-of-sight option that expands their tactical toolkit. Precision strikes from defilade, faster sensor-to-shooter timelines, and improved platform survivability without major vehicle modification. If MBDA meets its schedule and the Akeron proves reliable in testing, the munition could drive a meaningful shift in NATO and partner armor doctrine. Tanks would no longer be limited to direct fire roles. They could conduct precision strikes once reserved for artillery or aircraft while remaining harder to locate and target. For adversaries, non-line-of-sight capable tanks would introduce uncertainty about where lethal fires originate, complicating their force aggregation and movement near the front. Its battlefield value will ultimately depend on seeker performance, robustness against countermeasures, seamless integration into sensor networks and command systems, and demonstrable cost-effectiveness in realistic trials. If it clears those hurdles, MBDA's gun-launched NLOS round could be one of the decade's most consequential tactical innovations, offering tank commanders a stealthy, fast, precision strike tool that reshapes how armored maneuver and firepower are used.